Welcome to the regular city council meeting of Monday, August 5th, 2024. This meeting is called to order. This evening, the invocation is by Bishop Dorothy Sherrod of Lily of the Valley Church.
Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, it's in the name of Jesus that we come before you this evening, thanking you for this day that you blessed us, that we're here, and we thank you for how you let the storms pass over this morning. We're so grateful and we're so thankful to have the opportunity to be of service in our community. We pray that you will bless our mayor, the men and women of our city council, the boards and the commissions of our city, our police department, our firemen, all of those people that are charged to be of service to our city. We're so grateful and we're so thankful for the opportunity to be able to come and to sit and to have dialogue as men and women. Father God, we pray that you will give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that we will respect and that we will honor one another, even in our agreeing to disagree. At the end of the day, let your peace abide in our hearts and help us to be those men and women that you're calling for us to be, to carry out the business of our city. These blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have a roll call, please?
Of course. Jeff Arnold.
Here.
Mary Hasley. Here. Wendy Onuki.
Here.
Joe Reeser.
Here.
George Sleeper.
Here.
Letitia Wilkins.
Here.
Annie Brown.
Here. Thank you, Megan. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
I would like to add an item under agenda item 9 so that we don't miss it as we discuss it. I would add item 9A, where the city council will be asked to consider setting a date no later than September 3rd, 2024, for by when city council will receive updated amendments to the South Haven zoning ordinances regarding short-term rentals consistent with the directions of the city council at the June 3rd, 2024 regular city council meeting.
I'll second it.
Do you have that, Megan?
If I could have it repeated, actually.
Repeat slowly, please.
Yes. Sub A, city council will be asked to consider setting a date no later than September 3rd, 2024, for by when the city council will receive updated amendments to the South Haven zoning ordinances regarding short-term rentals consistent with the direction of the city council at the June 3rd, 2024 regular city council meeting.
Okay. And there was a second, right? Okay. All in favor of the amended?
We discuss it first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion.
So it seems like that is something we don't have control over entirely. As far as, I mean, we can ask for a date, but I would rather us get something that's complete and thoroughly vetted than to require it come to us by a certain date. And I'm not, I mean, it's really up to the attorney and us as city council to make sure that happens. And I'm not sure with the way things have been going that that's a reasonable date. And I don't know, how did you come up with that date?
So that is the date right before the next planning commission meeting at which they would be discussed, because our next planning commission meeting is this coming Thursday and they are not on the agenda. And they have not been discussed because the issues discussed on June 3rd were really legal, and legal counsel was not at that planning commission meeting. And to ensure that the planning commission time is efficiently used and focused for navigating this forward, it would be beneficial to have a more complete proposed zoning ordinance amendment for discussion.
If I may, I did email out an email from the attorney to the city council members. I apologize, it was probably around 2 or 3 o'clock today, where he kind of explained some of the concerns that was raised by by Member Hosley with his interpretation of some of the outstanding items which he determines are not predicated or does not prevent the the Planning Commission from completing their zoning ordinance review. Indeed, he mentions that the Planning Commission can conduct their zoning ordinance review, and any changes that can occur or need to be occurred or are recommended to be occurred can still be under this body's review, because ultimately the zoning ordinance would have to be approved by City Council.
And my concern is that going back and looking at our June 3rd meeting, the attorney actually said that some issues were, that's a technical item that we could look at for the Planning Commission. And the discussion, if you look at that entire discussion, was really for discussion at the Planning Commission. And so if he is of the opinion that the actual amendments do not need to be made, then he would need to be present at the Planning Commission at which these are to be discussed, because we need the legal guidance for these legal issues.
I'm happy to put the request on his calendar, but I do want to make sure that the council understands that it was not the attorney's understanding that the attorneys would revise the proposed zoning amendments again before the draft would go back to the Planning Commission or before the Planning Commission would start its work.
And I believe the motion, there may have been a misunderstanding in the motion, but I believe those supportive of the motion expected to have a more complete draft for the Planning Commission's discussion to efficiently address it, to avoid a ping pong where what they reviewed was not sufficient for the City Council to approve without it going back to the Planning Commission.
It does appear that there is a difference in opinions as to what that meant. And I guess I would also say that we understand, I think staff and hopefully the council as well as the attorney do understand that we have done a lot of work on the zoning ordinance, and now it is before the Planning Commission, and hopefully this is not a barrier to the Planning Commission continuing the review of this. We know we are under the gun. We know we've got to get this ordinance completed, so I would hope that this is not a barrier, and I'm happy to make the request to Attorney Bloom to attend whatever meeting, but understandably, we got to get on the schedule.
Correct. And this request updates were requested at July 8th, and so now we're almost a month into it. I appreciate everybody is busy. It is not a barrier to anything, but if there's a
I beg your
misunderstanding.
pardon if I don't mean to interrupt, but it does sound like these amendments have to come back to this board before they can be discussed at the Planning Commission. Is that the reason for the September 3rd meeting then?
It's to ensure that they would be available for the Planning Commission,
And if they are not, what's the remedy?
to have Attorney Bloom present at the Planning Commission. Because these concern legal discussions, we should have the guidance of legal counsel to ensure that there are not a lot of opinions in Planning Commission, and that the Planning Commission, or I should say to avoid misunderstandings by planning commissioners, it would be beneficial to an efficient use of everyone's time to have legal counsel present.
Like I said, I'm happy to make the request. I think maybe some of the misunderstandings or confusion may be cleared up by a memo, but again, I can't mandate that he's going to be there. I'd like to get this on his schedule if he can attend. My concern is that we are delaying a review of the zoning ordinance to have a perfect opportunity to have attorney there where this may be satisfied by a memorandum.
It depends on the substance of the memorandum, and there is no delay. The delay is not addressing a misunderstanding that was brought up on July 8th. And that if you look at the discussion on June 3rd as a whole, those changes were to have been made, and they were not, and I inquired about
Disagree with
whether
that.
they would be made, and my inquiry went unanswered.
I disagree with that characterization, but I also would direct the council. I have emailed that direction from Cliff Should we have to have a special meeting to go into that, I'm happy to arrange that. But at this point, I think that the arrangements that Cliff understood is in that email. And if there's further clarification, I guess I'd need to know from all 7 of you where you'd like to go. If we want to pause the zoning ordinance review at the Planning Commission and restart and reset, I guess I'd like to know that. So maybe we do need to have item 9A for discussion.
Are you hearing this concern from the chair of the Planning Commission?
No.
Thank you. Joe?
I just want to clarify my position on this. I supported Mary's suggestion for a draft. I wasn't thinking about the lawyer. I wasn't thinking about the give and take and all this. My concern is real simple. Residents have been waiting a long time, and they're impatient. I'm impatient. I think some of us on city council are impatient to have the zoning portion of short-term rentals brought forth to the public. To do that, sometimes the best thing is to put a marker, give a date, and go for that date. If we can't make the date, then tell us, and we can push it back. But at some point, we have to draw a line in the sand and say, we got to get this thing done. Here is a date, and try for that. And if it doesn't make sense, if the lawyer can't be there, we can always make a change. But we need something to push us over the finish line, and it just feels like that line keeps getting pushed further and further back. That's why I supported the September the 3rd date.
Well, to clarify, the Planning Commission has the zoning ordinance. They are reviewing it. However, there have been questions brought up to these outstanding issues that Mary has brought up, and she wants to delay the review of the zoning ordinance until this has been clarified by the attorney and with the approval of the council. So the delay is not coming from the attorney or the staff. This is just 3 outstanding items that Mary would like additional confirmation and clarification and approval by the council before it can go over and get reviewed by the Planning Commission.
And also, it's not just me, other people have raised concerns to me. They have watched the June 3rd meeting. It is not just me, I'm a voice for other people. I am representing our constituents.
I guess I should
And
clarify,
so-
when I hear that, I'm hearing from you, and I'm not hearing from them. I guess what I'm hearing is from Member Hosley. I'll clarify that.
And so I am not saying there's a delay, but I have requested this information since July 8th officially, and we only got the email from the attorney that was dated last Tuesday, a couple hours before we were meeting.
That's correct.
And so, going through things, he also had indicated he would be providing a memo that could be shared with the public with regard to lawfully existing, which we have not yet gotten, which would be very beneficial. So depending on what the memo provides, that may be sufficient. But I want to ensure that the discussion at the Planning Commission is efficient use of our time, and that areas that he actually identified saying those are good points are adequately represented, and I'm not sure a memo will do that. And so if he cannot do amendments, his presence at Planning Commission would suffice.
I would hope that his presence doesn't stop or delay, or his lack of presence doesn't stop or delay the review of the zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission has a statutory duty to review that zoning ordinance, and if there are outstanding questions that staff can take down and present them to the attorney, that would still keep the process moving forward.
And I think those questions would have to be answered in open session to ensure that policy is not being set behind closed doors.
Well, it sounds like there's a motion,
So-
and there's been an approval. So I think we need
Any
to
other-
approve the agenda.
Any
As
other
modified.
questions? George?
I guess I'm still a little confused. So Kate's email said that the Planning Commission does not need anything more to review the zoning ordinance. You're saying that they do need more. Is that correct, or?
I am saying that the motion that was made on June 3rd was to provide guidance to the Planning Commission to ensure that our discussion is efficient And there were areas that needed clarification, with the attorney even saying, good point, and that has not been provided. And so, depending on how it can provided, then depending on the information, we could go forward if there's a sufficient memo, if he's there, or if revised amendments are there. But the amendments as sent did not, and the material supporting them did not address the motion, the requested motion made on June 3rd.
Has the chair of the planning commission requested that the attorney be at that meeting?
I'm not aware of that, but I would have to ask specifically.
That's okay.
I guess I don't feel comfortable with the motion to amend the agenda because I don't think it's accurate based on the memo of the email that got sent today. So I'm going to vote against it.
Any other discussion? Okay, do you want to repeat what we're voting on, the motion?
Okay, yes, so we are wanting to amend the original motion to approve the agenda, to amend the agenda to include at agenda item 9A, City Council will be asked to consider setting a date no later than September 3rd for when the City Council will receive an updated amendment or updated amendments to the South Haven zoning ordinance regarding short-term rentals, consistent with the direction of the June 3rd, of the motion made at the June 3rd regularly scheduled meeting.
Thank you. Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Of course. Arnold?
No.
Hasley?
Yes.
Onuki?
No.
Reeser?
Yes.
Sleeper?
No.
Wilkins?
Yes.
And Brown?
No.
That is 4 noes to 3 yeses, motion fails.
Okay. Do we vote again on
Then
that?
we have to vote again for the
Okay,
agenda.
now we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Have that. We just need to vote.
Pardon me?
I made that, and it was seconded, and
Okay,
It's been seconded.
okay. All in favor to approve the original agenda, say yes.
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 Opposed? The regular agenda is approved. Thank you. Community updates.
We typically have other items on here, but we did not have any community updates, and we did not take that off of the agenda, so I guess there's nothing to say on this one.
Thank you. Now it's time for public comment for items on the agenda, excluding items scheduled for public hearing. You have up to 5 minutes. So if you're here to talk about an item on the agenda, this is your time. Come on up.
I am Brian Spalding, president of Lighthouse Point Condominiums located at the corner of Phoenix Street and Kalamazoo Street. That's directly across from the Black River Tavern. I'm here tonight to indicate how our condo owners feel about the Black River Tavern's application for a permit to be part of the social district of South Haven and allow open containers to be served to their customers. Frequently in the past, there have been groups of unruly people in front of the Black River Tavern waiting to enter the tavern when there's no room for them. During that time, there's usually quite a bit of loud discussion and exuberant activity carried on by those people that are waiting to enter the establishment. Later in the evening, this has created a negative effect on the peaceful enjoyment of the residents of our building. It's our concern that if the Black River Tavern is given permission to join the social district and be allowed to enable their patrons to take a drink outside the tavern while they're waiting to get a table inside, the noise level is going to increase because more intoxicated people will be present, and there will be more empty containers thrown down in the front planting areas in our building. On behalf of the Lighthouse Point Condominium Association, I respectfully request that the commission deny the request for permission to allow open containers sold by the Black River Tavern. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Spalding.
Mike Campbell, 216 Erie Street. On July 3rd at 3:30 a.m., a third of a very old tree in the 200 block of Erie fell, completely blocking the street and more. Within minutes, the 5 neighbors who still live in that block were outside to see what happened. We called 911 as the falling limb had also taken out the street light in the block, so the street was completely dark, and the tree covering the street was a danger to anyone driving. DPW had posted no parking signs the day before. Remember, July 3rd was fireworks day. Otherwise, cars parked on the street owned by short-term renters next door to me would have been severely damaged or crushed. On behalf of the neighbors, thank you to the police, DPW, and the tree trimmer contractor for their swift work. By 10:30 a.m., the tree was removed. A new light pole was in place, and the street light was reattached. But I'm here for more. Why is the remainder of the tree still standing over 1 month later? Here's a picture of the tree. It is 50 feet tall, has a 120-inch trunk circumference, which geometrically, if you work the equation, means it has a 38+ inch diameter. The gash on the tree is where the limb fell away. The dark section is fully dead and hollow. Note, the open gash is where the remaining 3 major limbs come together on the main trunk. This tree is severely compromised. Neighbors have been calling for the past 2 years about this tree because other limbs have been falling from it. I've seen them. This is what I have found out about South Haven, how South Haven addresses trees. To my knowledge and the research I've done, no tree maintenance plan exists for the city. Prove me wrong, but I think the reality is that South Haven's approach is reactive. Instead of a plan, a list is kept of trees that need to be trimmed or removed. Trees identified mostly by residents calling the city. The tree on Erie is on the list, but the question is, for how long? For the 2 years since the calls to take it down started, or just since July 3rd? The tree list is quite lengthy, and I'm told it takes a while to get around to take care of the trees. To me, that's code for we don't have enough resources. Days earlier, from July 3rd, on June 25th, there was another downed tree that caused a lengthy power outage on the south side. I wonder if that tree was on the list, and for how long? I wonder how many other of the many power outages we have are caused by unmaintained trees. Trees don't time their falling to occur in the middle of the night on a day when no parking signs are posted. The neighbors on Erie don't walk near this tree, but others unknowingly do. Mayor, you walk your dog under that tree. I saw you just today, and I saw you Saturday. What if that's when a second major limb happened to fall on you? Not a pretty sight. Worse, given probably hundreds of tourists walk back and forth to the beach in a typical week under that tree, what if a tourist was struck and killed? Mayor, you're just a resident, but a tourist would sue the city. Any lawyer would love to take such a case with the facts I just laid out. The city would find itself in a pickle just like it is with the existing drowning lawsuit. Putting things off never pays. To close, I get the real sense that the DPW workers are not necessarily feeling the love from city leadership, as they aren't getting the tools and resources they need to maintain the trees in the manner they should be maintained. Remember, too, these workers are also put in greater danger when they have to deal with a fallen tree than if they could routinely trim healthy trees. Proper maintenance can reduce tree incidents.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you. Tree incidents naturally are costlier because they require more resources and create inconveniences for the residents. City Council, city staff, give these city workers the resources they need to be proactive about tree maintenance. You publicly support increase in taxes for recreation, where about a third of it is going to come back to be spent directly by the city, yet you don't apparently budget enough for DPW to adequately address the infrastructure needs of the city, like trees, or replacing brittle valves on water mains, like last week's issue. That's just kind of weird. Depending on how it next falls, this tree affects either or both Wards 1 and Ward 3. I would ask the council members of both wards to ask Mr. Byrd during his time on the agenda tonight to address how tree maintenance is managed and why the tree on Erie is still there. And just to close, I did have a conversation with Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, you might want to make sure that we are talking about items on the agenda in this portion.
Pardon me?
This should be for items on the agenda at this portion of the meeting.
Oh,
Public
I'm
comments.
sorry.
Okay, Aaron Cobb's, 914 Center Street. And I want to speak on number 9. Council consider a motion to approve resolution, to impose an additional 6-month moratorium. And it's a question, why do you need another 6-month moratorium? You had plenty of time to make your decision. People done invested money in short-term rental, they property. And why you need so much time? 6 months is enough time to make a decision. You was voted on the council to make decisions for us, and especially the residents of the city. It seems like you can't make no decision for even the residents of the city. You need all this time. And I wanted to say that the short-term rental, when this short-term rental thing first began, people started investing their money. It's like you said gold in the city. People start coming to the city to dig for gold. If you're going to cut off, the people that have left their family got halfway there, you shouldn't stop them. Now, you can stop people, tell them, say, well, in 3 months, we're not going to allow no more people come in. What the council done, a lot of people invested money thinking that they were going to get the permit, get a chance to get a permit. And y'all cut all of that off. And I just want to ask this question. How you think other people want to come to this city and invest in property when you have a council won't even help the citizens, help the residents of the city get the business short-term? How you think other people want to come here and invest in this city? I've been here 50-some years, and I'm having a hard time getting the business permit. If I was going to come here now and invest, I wouldn't. Because younger people coming to buy that property, you don't know what they want to do. If another opportunity to come up, a younger person come here today and buy some property, 10 years from now, another opportunity to come up to turn your property into something. And just a few of you get to turn it into, outside people get to turn it in, and the one that live here have a hard time. I want you to think about what I'm saying. You was put here to help the citizens of this city. When opportunity arose for the citizens to do something with the short-term rental, they should have been the first. Even though if they didn't know about it or not, didn't get in on it at first. But when they got in, when they started there, then all of a sudden, everything was cut. So I just want you to think about that. Like I say, I've been here a long time. I don't have enough days left to really be worrying about it, but I want you to think about what the council are doing. We elected you to help us. It don't seem like you're doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Karen, I'm going to apologize to you right now, because you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. Well, my name is Steve Sweet. I live at 507 LaGrange. I live next door to a real estate investment, and I approve the fact that you want to extend the 6-month moratorium. I moved here 23 years ago to a city that I loved, and I can't say that anymore. It hurts me to say that. My wife's upset with me because we moved here, but we tried to move. Now the house is worth less because nobody wants to buy houses in this town right now because the moratorium is keeping the sales down now, but that's good. I want that. I'm willing to take less money for my house now if I decided to move, but the people across the street asked $550,000 for their house. They already lowered it $50,000, and I don't see it's going to sell. But we probably have 5 to 6 short-term rentals on our street, and with the noise and everything, I just hope the city approves that they don't, we put another 6 months on this moratorium and do away with the lottery. I approve that, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? If not, we are moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through J?
I move to approve consent agenda items A through J.
I'll second it.
I would like to remove items 8F and 8H, please.
F and H.
Yes.
We're moving those to 9B. So it will be 9B and 9C. Is it, okay. So we're going to vote. All in favor of the amended consent agenda?
Was there, I'm sorry, I didn't see that, was that seconded?
Any council
Oh,
member
I beg your pardon, that's correct, yep.
Okay. All in favor of the amended consent agenda, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Roll call. We'll have
Oh,
to
I'm
vote.
sorry.
That's okay.
I was doing so well.
A lot
for
of
so
order,
long.
no problem. Okay. We have Arnold,
Yes.
Hasley,
Yes.
Onuki,
Yes.
Reeser,
Yes.
Sleeper,
No.
Wilkins. Yes. And Brown.
No.
Motion carries.
Okay, item 9 and new business. The city council should consider a motion to approve resolution 2024-37, a resolution to impose an additional 6-month moratorium on the registration and commencement of new short-term rental business units and to cancel the lottery for 2024. Kate?
Thank you, Mayor. We had this request come in that our moratorium on the business short-term rental units would expire on the 19th of this month. It was asked to continue, make an extension of the moratorium to allow for our progress, as we are making progress with both the zoning ordinance and the regulatory ordinance. We're more concerned about the zoning ordinance, as that is the ordinance that prohibits or that does allow for the lottery. And as council has made a recommendation to the planning commission, and planning commission is undertaking their review, it's been suggested, and we have worked with the city attorney to provide this resolution, which would extend this moratorium for another 6 months. That would take us into, I think, February of 2025, if we need that time. If we have an adopted ordinance before that moratorium would be rescinded.
Okay, is there a motion, or is there support for this motion?
I move to support Resolution 2024-37, a resolution to impose an additional 6-month moratorium on the registration and commencement of a new short-term rental business unit and to cancel the lottery in 2024 with a slight amendment to the resolution where the third whereas phrase, the longer one right above the ABC, where it says 27 applicants, I would strike applicants and replace that with rental certificates.
Okay, where is this on the motion?
Approving the motion in an amended form, approving resolution 2024-37 with an amendment to the third whereas clause.
I'll second.
Okay, Megan, can you repeat that?
Yes, I just need the last word, but I got most of it. So to approve the resolution 37, a resolution to impose an additional 6-month moratorium on the registration and commencement of a new short-term rental business units and to cancel the lottery for 2024, and to amend the resolution on the third whereas to strike applicants where it states 27 applicants, and then to replace with, I believe it was STR, I just missed that last word,
Rental certificates.
rental certificates.
Okay, any discussion? George?
Do you know, Kate, I'm assuming the city attorney went through this resolution, does the city attorney know about this proposed change, or?
I did not bring this up to him, but I did point out when I was talking with Member Hasley earlier today that the now therefore, because the whereas is almost a recital as to why you're doing this resolution, but the now therefore states what the effect of the resolution is. And really, there's several clauses here that talk about that the 27 permits that would be available if there was a lottery are not going to be issued under this moratorium. So I understand where she's coming from, but really it's already been covered in the now therefore provisions.
Do you understand that, Mary?
Yes, I do understand that, and it's just, it's not 27 applicants, it's 27 permits. So I don't want there to be a confusion that there's only 27 applicants for these 27 permits. There's multiple applicants for the 27 permits. And I believe I had raised that before in the previous resolution,
Where did you raise it before?
when we initially voted on the first resolution moratorium.
Okay, any other discussion? Can we have a roll call, please?
What are we voting on? Are we voting for the amendment to? or-
It's both. So
all-
you're approving the resolution with the amendment. Okay?
Wait, can I ask a question? From the way it's written right now to the way Mary's proposing it, give me, Kate, the net change between the two. How will it affect the moratorium?
I don't believe it would affect the moratorium if it's left or if it's changed, quite honestly. I think it's an immaterial change because the recital is not germane. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not determinative. What is determinative is the now, after it states now therefore, that is what is determinative, which is there is no lottery that's going to be taking place. There are 27 permits that would have been available, but because this moratorium cancels that lottery, the change is really immaterial, one way or another.
So either way, we're getting the same net effect.
You are.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Mary, did you let Kate know that you'd be making this
She
change?
did.
Yes.
She did.
Okay. Okay, any other discussion?
I just,
Wendy?
Yes.
I know we're gonna extend it for 6 months with the possibility of finishing sooner than that. And I just wanted to say during this moment that it would be great. I know we're making a lot of progress forward. I also know that people are kind of anxious for us to finish it, so I would look forward to getting it done prior to the 6 months extension, which I think is possible.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, roll call, please.
You got it. Hasley,
Yes.
Onuki,
Yes.
Reeser,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
Wonderful, motion carries.
Okay. 9B is the council will be asked to appoint Ryan Servetus to the Downtown Development Authority for a partial term. Kate, do you want to discuss this or add to it?
Pretty much that we had a member on the DDA board that was not able to make the meetings and reached out to the staff liaison and asked that she be removed or that they consider her resignation. And we had only one left applicant that was still on our roster. We've been taking applications. We always take applications for anybody who's interested in boards and commissions, and when we appointed when we do the mass appointment in, I think it was May, everyone but Mr. Servetus was appointed, and I think they were actually reapplications to the board. So it's been on our radar for some time that anybody who's looking for a board or commission application or board or commission appointment, just to have those applications on file. And we did have this vacancy come up, and I know that we had reached out to you as part of the DDA bylaws, is that the mayor makes the nomination for appointment.
Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this item? Or
Discussion?
after we make a motion in a second?
I move to approve Ryan Servetus to the Downtown Development Authority for a partial term.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, the opening on the DDA was not apparent on the website as of Thursday. And I know when there have been openings to be inclusive and transparent, it's always been publicized. We just had appointments, and I would like to see other people have an opportunity so that residents feel involved in this process and that it's more transparent, so there are potential for other people to apply.
Any other discussion or comments?
I should note that Maha Karadesh is a business that operates in the DDA, and Mr. Servetus would be taking the place of a business that operates in the DDA. The DDA requires that a majority of the members have an operating business in the DDA, and for the most part, I think that's mostly met, but again, we're also looking for people who are affected by the DDA to be members of the DDA.
And I know that the DDA meeting for this week is canceled, so the DDA will not be meeting for another month, so it could be published and provided for other opportunities.
I would say, as mayor, I've been recruiting and urging people to apply for all openings on all boards and commissions, and the city has had a continuing post on the website that there are available slots on boards and commissions. And even you, Mary, have made that invitation for people to apply to all openings here at city council meetings, and those meetings were televised. So the word is definitely out. It's been on the City of South Haven social media. It's been on the mayor's social media, so the word is out.
With all due respect, the opening has not been out. That became public through the city website, not until after Thursday. It may have been on social media, but I haven't seen any press release about it, any email about it. And my announcement was before the June seating, so in May. And this resignation was just on July 9th. And it appears that there's just one applicant, but there could be other applicants interested in it. And again, for transparency and openness and inclusion, I think it would be beneficial to provide a week for people to apply. And then we could make an appointment at our next city council meeting, which is well before the next DDA meeting.
What do you mean by inclusion?
Just everyone feels like they have an opportunity to apply.
Yep, and I think everybody did, so. Any other
Just
comments
depends on
or
with whom you
concerns?
speak.
Joe, did you have any concerns?
I would like to see it a little more time to see if other applicants would like to apply for that position.
My understanding of how this works is that there's just rolling openings and applications.
We do try to make sure that we do a mass appointment in May so that people know that their term starts June 1st, but there are times, because we are dealing with volunteers, their volunteer obligations, they're no longer able to meet. And we've done this with a number of different boards where somebody may just say, I can't do this anymore, thank you, and I don't want to leave you in a lurch, but usually we have a number of applicants that have said, hey, I'd like to be on this board. In fact, since our since our appointments in May, I've had a number of people reach out and say, hey, I would just want to let you know I'm still interested in this if anything comes up. So with a number of people who are interested in being on advisory boards, many of them stay engaged and want to be part of this. And We never turn an application down, and many times when we're having, like we're going to have our Touch-a-Truck event, Megan's out there trying to ask people to come in and fill out an application for boards and commissions. We've had a number of hiring fairs where we're also asking people to come out and sign up for boards and commissions. I can tell you that we're always taking applications for boards and commissions, and it's really nice when you have people who are looking to be volunteers and serving on a board and commission. It is, as you know, as many of you know, because you have more than this responsibility of being at their city council meeting, many of you have multiple boards that you have been tasked with as part of your ongoing obligations. So I think that here we have an applicant that has demonstrated an interest in being on the DDA. This is an applicant that has reached out and said, is there any openings? This applicant's been very diligent about asking about that. And here we had a board seat on the DDA that is an existing business to be replaced by another existing business in the DDA. That's the best I can summarize what I think is going on here.
And
Thank
how
you.
many, sorry,
Go ahead.
how many on the DDA are non-business?
I can just think of one. One is a newly retired member. I'm trying to think of the others that are on the board.
But any non-business people who might be affected by the DDA? You had identified that as a position.
There is, to my knowledge, just a first blush, there is one member that is no longer that is now a non-member of the DDA because they are retired. So they do not have a corresponding business in the DDA.
Okay, I think we're ready for a roll call, please.
Onuki,
Yes.
Reeser,
No.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Hasley,
No.
and Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9C is the council will be asked to appoint Darrell Williams to the Election Commission for an indefinite term.
I make a motion to appoint Darrell Williams to the Election Commission for an indefinite term.
Second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I would move to amend the indefinite term be replaced by, until changed by the city council. Based on the charter.
Any discussion? Oh, is there support for that? There's no support, so we'll go back to the original. And any discussion on the original motion?
I think, like Ryan, this is another good appointment.
Go ahead.
What?
We're talking about the,
Darrell Williams for the
okay. I do
election.
have a question about the indefinite, and I think I asked you, Kate, because I'd never seen that before.
Yes, we do have a few where there's really not a set term limit, and it serves at the will of council. So should the council want to reappoint any member on that commission outside of the clerk, she already gets a seat there, council may do so. It's an election commission that's set by the charter, and those members serve at the will of council. And the election commission is there's 3 members, and they are tasked with ensuring that the election is ready to go. That means ensuring your tabulators are working, that the slide deck is correct, and that there are no errors. If I'm missing anything, Megan can jump in here, but that's pretty much what they do. The meetings are noticed and have to be published, and we have the meetings, and we just get things done. And typically, since I've been in this building, it's been members of the city staff, because then we can just get in, because typically, I think they are one of the fastest meetings. I think they get their business done in 2 minutes. So it's a pretty quick meeting to certify the agenda or whatever Megan has to do by law. And it's a pretty quick meeting, and it really only takes less than 5 minutes.
Any other questions?
And
Mary?
just, Councilwoman Wilkins, that's why I had moved to change it to be until changed by city council, so that it was clear that the city council has the authority to unseat, reseat somebody. It's not just if they leave, if there was another person. Because this was brought about by the resignation of the assistant city manager. So if we had a new assistant city manager that the city council may want on there, the amendment I thought would be more clear that the city council could just change it on their own because it's at will.
So typically, this position is held by assistant.
It's been who's in the building. I'm not sure, I mean, I'm hoping that we get somebody in the assistant city manager position, but I also know that we have a member of the public who one is an elector here and serves in City Hall. And again, I don't want to uphold any election business because we couldn't get a quorum of the election commission so that we can get our elections in process. That's why we were thinking in just having it in-house, and whether it's the customer service manager or the assistant city manager, there's obligations. And again, like I said, it's serving at the will of council.
And tomorrow is election night.
That's correct.
Any other questions? We're ready for a roll call?
Onuki.
Yes.
Reeser.
Yes.
Sleeper.
Yes.
Wilkins.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Hosley.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We are now at item number 10. The City Council will be asked to adopt Resolution 2024-38, a resolution recommending that the Michigan Liquor Control Commission, MLCC, grant RAPA Development LLC, DBA Black River Tavern, a social district permit for use at 403 Phoenix Street, which is within the South Haven Social District. Kate.
Thank you, Mayor. We've had an application request from the Black River Tavern, which is also known as, the official name is RAPA Development LLC, doing business as Black River Tavern. They have submitted their social district permit application, a copy of their MLCC permits, which they have two. They have the initial and then the secondary. And then they have also submitted their certificate of liability, naming the city as an additional insured, and a signed copy of the social district participation agreement. This is a establishment. I know we've heard from one of the neighbors that have concerns about this. I did share with you, based on a request from Member Hosley, about the number of police interactions there, but I did not have details on each of the contacts that were made out there. I just know the headings of what was asked, or the headings of what the officer was there for, but with no context. I'm happy to answer any questions council may have on this.
Any questions? Wendy?
Thank you. Is it correct that the social district hours end at 10 p.m.?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? Joe?
I support the social district, but I do have a question, and that is, if we had one particular bar or restaurant that turns out that it becomes a problem area, whether it be the establishment or just the location, and it becomes disturbing to the other businesses and to the tourists, could we, as a council, say we're going to pull that one permit from that one business, even if it's not the business's fault, it's just because of the location? Do we have that option?
Kate?
I should clarify that this is a resolution that would recommend the Michigan Liquor Control Commission giving them a social district permit. Should that, if council says yes, give them the recommendation, but later on down the road they want to pull that back, again, we would be making that request to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission to withdraw that permit, because we are not the issuing body. All we are doing is a recommending body. I should say that, and I had this question previously, is that if there were violations of, people not following the social district from BRT, is the city at fault? And the city is not at fault. The social district permit that is being applied for, that the city council is looking at recommending, this is BRT's license. Should they violate it, this is their license that is imperiled. So if they're not following the rules, if they're not giving adequate instructions to people and they're not following the rules, this will imperil the Black River Tavern's permit. They are the ones who are seeking this permit, and if they are found to have too many violations and we turn that over to Michigan Liquor Control and they make an investigation, it is Black River Tavern who is imperiled by not following the rules.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Kate?
Can I ask one more?
Go ahead.
When they issue the cups, do they have an identifier where they are coming from? They have stickers?
Yes.
Okay.
The stickers that we issue have the date where it can be filled on, and then they have to have some kind of identifier where the cup came from. So many businesses already put their stickers on them, or they write it in on the sticker we provide.
Okay. Thank you.
Mary?
If you do, if there are, how many violations would it take before we would reach back out to the commission on the issue? And does it affect their complete liquor license or just participating in the social district?
I'm not sure how to answer that. The Michigan Liquor Control Commission is its own body. I'm happy to turn over any contacts we had, but I also know that they get a number of requests from around the state, since they have, that is, what they do. We have turned over other incidences. If there's an incident at any bar or restaurant, we have turned them over if we think that it's egregious enough, and I defer to the police department on that. And making sure that the Michigan Liquor Control Commission is aware of any place where we believe that it's been overserved or they're not following their permit.
And does that affect their, so if they violate the social district, that affects their main liquor license? That
I don't know that. I do know that the social district is a separate permit that's almost like an addendum to, right? So they have to first have a they have to have a permit, and this social district allows them to sell these sales to be consumed within the social district. Now, because of Michigan law, they can already sell cocktails to go or six-packs depending on, I believe, state law. That was approved, I think, in 2020 or 2021. So this is just for consumption of social district alcohol in approved containers within the social district. And I believe that's just a secondary permit based on the initial permit.
And is there, so it does end at 10 p.m. and that's when it ends. Does that mean selling and or having drinks in the social district? I'm assuming both. So you cannot, after 10 p.m., except for New Year's Eve, obviously. It's midnight. But after 10 p.m., you are not supposed to sell and not supposed to be in the social district with alcohol.
That's correct. At 10 p.m., you should be consuming them and getting them put in the trash bin.
If I may.
And then my understanding is that a number of the participating businesses have already kind of made like an unofficial agreement that they will stop selling a half an hour before.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I inquired with one of the participating restaurants, they said they stop selling a half hour before it ends. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2024-38, a resolution recommending the Michigan Liquor Control Commission grant RAPA Development LLC, doing business as Black River Tavern, a social district permit for use at 403 Phoenix Street, which is within the social district of South Haven.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say yes.
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 Opposed?
No.
I oppose.
Okay. 2. Correct, thank you. The motion passes. Moving on, the city council will receive an update from the Public Works Director, Dana Bird.
Hello, thanks for having me here tonight. I included an update in the packet for tonight, a couple of highlights from that, and then I will talk a little bit about our tree policy. Our water project is well underway. We're moving into the loan closing and grant agreement phase of that water system project, so it's a pretty exciting milestone to be reaching. So everything is coming together. We got our bids in and all of our grant agreements, and closing paperwork is being run through for the water project. Also on a water system note, I was excited to hear that Richie Garcia, our water filtration plant superintendent, is going to be receiving the Professional Excellence Award from the Michigan AWWA. So that's a really exciting and unique honor for him, and we're all excited and happy for him. He'll be going to the conference in September to receive that award. Also, Quentin Clark was appointed to a Michigan Municipal Risk Management Advisory Committee, which is exciting. Regarding the staff at Public Works, I have started one-on-one listening sessions with all the folks there. It's something I've been wanting to do since I started. And it's been really good so far. We've been doing it every Friday morning where I've been having one-on-one meetings, gives folks a chance to get to know me a little better. I get to know them a little better. So it's been a really productive thing that's been well received over there. As most of you are aware, we did have a water main break on Indiana Avenue, which was caused by a directional drilling company on Friday the 26th. So that lasted a little longer than we would like. And so we've halted drilling for that week and into this week, and we're meeting with that company to kind of review practices and procedures to try and minimize any future incidents like that, and put some more oversight out there to try and avoid those types of situations in the future. Yeah, I appreciate the efforts of our staff for 4th of July. I know that was a big effort for them and coming up for Blueberry Festival. And a few other things on the list here, but let me just jump to trees for a second. So I did talk to Aaron a little bit about our overall policy and practices for tree management within the city. We do have about 4,500 trees as an urban forest in the community. We're a tree city. We get that designation. I think I just looked up. We've had it for 20 years. So we do have a lot of policies and ordinances and practices on how we manage trees and how we prioritize which trees we do take down. You know, having 4,500 trees is a lot of active nature, as we refer to it, and so we do have a hazard-based review process that we do. We do maintain a list, and we're fortunate to have an arborist on our staff to be able to make you know, those risk-based decisions on trees. Are we going to catch every branch before it falls? No. With 4,500 trees, we got to prioritize that as much. So, but with that said, we're always open to reviewing our practices. We do appreciate when folks bring something to our attention out there, so we can go take another look at it. I'll review the tree the gentleman commented on in particular with our staff and understand a little better as to, you know, why, if residents are requesting that be removed, that it is still there. But I know in talking with staff that they do have a pretty thorough process and are experienced in evaluating which trees should come down, which trees shouldn't, which trees are damaged but are survivable at the time. So I guess with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that Joe might have.
Any questions, George?
Dana, just a couple questions. One on the advanced metering project. Do you have a time frame when you think that's going to be wrapped up, or do you know about percentage-wise, maybe how many meters have been replaced? I know it's kind of an ongoing.
Yeah, I think we're at less than 50% of the system, but we do have staff as they're available working on those meter replacements. We're trying to get the majority of them done by the end of the year. There probably will be some that hang on into next year because there's some additional work needed to upgrade some of those meter sockets. So I think that'll be a future Board of Public Utility item to talk about some of those items there.
Okay. And second question, pier gates. Any update on when those might get installed?
Yeah, I reached out to King Company, and we're kind of playing phone tag with summer being a busy season, but we're hoping to do that by September. We don't have a confirmed date yet, but that's what we're shooting for, and kind of initial feedback from them. So.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dana.
Yeah.
Wendy and I over the weekend got a question about lead line service repair in Ward 2. So could you just, the resident got noticed, but that was the first she'd heard of it. So if you could just kind of review while you're on camera for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
What's happening and how to make sure they get checked.
Yeah, so lead service lines, there's a big effort underway that has been going on for a couple of years now. Van Buren County, the city, and both townships committed some of their grant funding through ARPA to that effort. So we do have an ongoing project with Compton where we're going around to various areas in the community replacing lead lines. But we did just receive bids and grant loan funding for 3 years worth of lead line replacements. So we're going to have a company that's awarded that contract called 5 Star Energy Services. And they're going to be starting next spring. And our goal is to replace about 2,100 lines throughout the community. So we're going to be working with them to determine a schedule, get a lot of information out there to the public with some frequently asked questions on when are they going to come do my line, when are they going to be in my area. So since we have that large contract and half of it's being paid for by the state of Michigan grants, we're going to be putting a lot more information out there in the future on that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Mary?
Yeah, yes, so thank you for addressing the tree issues. And I'm just wondering, is that coordinated also with line maintenance? Because is it called bleeding, where the the limbs hit the lines, and that causes other issues? And is that a cause of some of the power outages we've been having?
Yeah, so trees are an ever-present, issue for electrical lines as they continue to grow, and we try and keep our lines clear. It's a bit separate from the street tree issue of folks that are concerned about a tree or a limb within the community, because our electrical grid goes out into the townships as well. But we are working with our electrical staff to make kind of a prioritized list of areas, because it can be an issue for the electrical system when there are branches touching the lines. Just like when we have water loss on the water system, we can have loss through the electrical system. And so it just makes the system more efficient. It also helps our crews when they go out in the middle of the night to respond to something and it's dark and they're dealing with tree limbs. So we are taking a proactive approach to that to try and set up a program where every year, we're clearing so many line feet or line miles of trees, and we're working kind of internally to prioritize those areas. I think it's a practice that we've done and has been going on for a while, but it's something that we're reevaluating again. And I think there's a plan right now to, by the end of this month or early September, send out some information about line clearing that'll happen in South Haven Township. So that's kind of the rural areas are being prioritized where the trees have really grown into the lines and maybe have been the result of some of our outages in the past few months. So.
Okay, and yeah, I know that the one tree on Erie, I know I've talked with the homeowners there last year, and there were two, and one got removed, and one homeowner was very surprised when the person came out and the tree that the person thought was going to be removed was the one that had the limb that came down the other week. And with its condition, is there an opportunity to get that moved up higher on the critical removal list?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to review that with staff and better understand, the reasons why one tree was prioritized over another. But I don't think the wrong tree was removed in that instance. I think the trees were evaluated and the one that was in worse condition was taken down, but I can certainly circle back and.
Yeah, I do understand that when you have two bad trees next to each other, it can be a little overwhelming to have both of them removed at the same time. But if we're having issues with, especially trying to have workers and things like that, sometimes it might be possibly reevaluate when two should be taken out simultaneously. In this instance, I mean, we were just very lucky that the no parking signs got put out and that it happened at 3 a.m. As opposed to 3 p.m. on July 3rd. And I just, because I've heard of that tree for over a year for being an issue. Do you have a list if people were wondering if trees are on the list, where they are? Is that?
I don't think we
we
have
our
like a publicized list, but we're always reviewing when folks call and talk about a tree, and we'll review that, but I can review that with staff. And
because I know we have our road replacement, but that's much easier managed than the tree replacement.
Yeah.
I mean, tree maintenance.
Yeah, I think we shoot for between 15 to 30 trees a year. I know when I spoke with Aaron a little bit about this, he said there were certain years where we were going after a lot more trees because there were just a lot more kind of dead and dying high hazard trees in the community. But our typical pace is around 15 to 30 a year. We typically try and do those in spring or fall when there's less, traffic in town and it's easier to get in there. It's less of an inconvenience for folks.
Well, and fall, you don't have to worry about the nesting birds also, has that benefit. I was looking through the SHASA report from July 30th and, noticed the rate hikes. And I was wondering if you could discuss why this in-city rates, both for sewer and water, are higher than outside the city.
Which in-city rates?
So the sewer and the
Like the
water rates
commodity
that
rate?
were reviewed in, I think, June, and the reports were in the July SHASA report. It indicated the in-city rates were higher than the outside city rates.
Okay.
And I just
I
didn't,
guess I would have to look at which specific one you're referring to there, but I'm happy to look
Is-
into that and follow up.
Is this a SHASA question?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's a Shasta rate question, but yeah, I'm not aware off the top of my head as to why one would show higher than the other. I know there's a lot of different charges and fees, whether it's REU fees or commodity fees or hookup fees, so I'd have to look and see specifically which ones are being
Okay.
referred to.
Because that might help, especially if we're looking at housing and just trying to find ways to make things more affordable. It seemed like the rates for the out-of-city were lower than in-city.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to look into that, because I know certain costs, like to connect to the system initially, are very different, whether you're in the city or not. Typically, out of the city are a little higher than in-city on that instance of the initial connection. But based on commodity rates and REU rates within the city, I would have to see which numbers specifically.
Yet they seemed across the board lower for the diameter of the pipes. So for the usage rate for the sewage and the water.
Yeah, I'd have to look
Okay.
at which ones and follow up with you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Pardon me? No, I'm sorry. You can speak during public comment.
Mayor, can I ask one question?
Sure.
I think it was within the last few days that someone had pointed out cutting of small trees on the bluff on Monroe Boulevard. I don't know if you guys had
City
seen that.
staff did that?
The
Or
staff wasn't
private?
a private property owner, but I think it was on public property. I just didn't know if,
I'm not aware.
okay. They called the police, but I just wasn't sure if the city had handled any of that.
Okay. I'm not personally aware of that, but
Okay.
can look into it.
Okay, I was just looking for some info, so that's fine.
I just want to congratulate you again on the grant for the electric vehicle charging stations. So I know that took a lot of work, so it's exciting news for South Haven.
Yeah, we'll be getting more information from the state of Michigan on that, and looking forward to sharing more. So,
Thank you. Okay, I think that's
Okay.
all.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next, it's time again for public comment. Citizens in the audience will be heard on items that were not on the agenda, and you have up to 5 minutes.
The comment that I wanted to make.
Oh, come to the microphone.
What's on the agenda? It's Mr. Byrd. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Councilman Joe Reeser. He texted us on, I believe it was the 26th when we had the water main break at 9:33. My question is, and I'm going to follow up with Mr. Byrd on tomorrow, why did it take so long for the Ward 1 residents to receive notification of a broken water main? Some of the residents did not know through the entire weekend that there was our boil water advisory. So that's a great concern. So thank you so much for reaching out and letting us know. But it was 3+ hours later when we received notice. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, you wanted to speak about the water?
Yes. While we're on the subject. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jim Barkus, 5841 Cherry Street. My reason for being here tonight is due to the recent two letters we received about our drinking water. In the first letter, it talks about a violation that occurred in December of 2022. It's over a year and a half ago. Okay, we're just getting the letter now, about collecting a water sample. And in the second letter, it talks about a critical mixing equipment failed in June of 2023, over a year ago. Okay? And because of this equipment failure, they were unable to provide the appropriate level of treatment to our water. So they go on to say, they discuss some of the effects of contaminated water, and they say to us residents, you don't have to do anything unless you're an infant, you're elderly, or you have severely compromised immune system. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It's okay, according to the letter. So this contamination, if there ever was any, we don't know. Side effects are liver or kidney problems, nervous system effects, and an increase of getting cancer. Okay? So the letter goes on to state, both letters, that the notification process says that residents will be notified within 24 hours if our drinking water becomes contaminated. 24 hours. I find that hard to believe when it took over a year and a half after the violation took place, where they missed a water sample, and over a year where a critical equipment broke and they were unable to treat the water. They say that this machine, this critical mixing equipment machine, should be repaired by July of 2024, which was last month. So we don't even know if it's fixed yet. Okay? So in closing, I just wanted to say that I pretty much, I take our drinking water very seriously. I drink it right from the tap every day, as I'm sure most of you do. And what I find appalling is the fact that our people that run our plant, they have a very responsible job for us all, to have safe drinking water. We rely on them. So in closing, it is just, with all due respect, it's my opinion that Superintendent Garcia,
You have 1 minute.
should be removed from the water filtration department.
Excuse me, we
Thank-
don't discuss personnel issues.
And thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we're moving on to city manager's comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I get to my comments, I did want to say that we did have Superintendent Richie Garcia here, as well as Dana Bird, to talk about the 2 letters that were issued. We did had that on a previous meeting. I'm happy to get Mr. Barkis's information and connect with him, and have Mr. Garcia and Dana give him, a call. Explain that while we did have those issues with the elements of the treatment process not in operation for a period of time, we have continued the sampling, and the sampling is fine. The water is safe to drink, and we can show that. So I do want to make sure that people do understand that the water sampling for multiple parts around the city has continued to be done, and we've been able to show that we do not have any contaminants in the water that would prohibit us from sending water to everyone's homes. But we did have those letters that had to be sent out by Eagle because there was parts of our treatment system that were not functional at the time. So I did want to make that clear, and I'm happy to get Mr. Barkis's information so we can connect with him on that. A couple items to bring to the City Council's attention. This Sunday, myself, Aaron Preeb, Mayor Mayor Brown, Councilmember Hosley, Parks Commissioner Lisa Stiegel attended the Jewish Veterans Memorial dedication and of course, the restoration of that driveway. It was a very nice memorial. It was nice to see people. It was very well received. I did want to remind everyone that tomorrow is the election. Polls will be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you've not already voted, either through absentee or the early voting center, the polls will be open tomorrow. We'll make sure that city staff are not parking in the parking lot to ensure that that is open to our electors or for voters. Also tomorrow night will be National Night Out. We'll be partnering with Safe Kids of Greater South Haven to have the National Night Out, which is a community building event that is happening nationally. We'll be partnering with, once again, Van Buren County Sheriff's Office, Greater Kids of South Haven, Safe Kids of Greater South Haven, Michigan State Police, and a number of other entities to be out there and just be out there for the community to come out. I believe hot dogs will be cooked and other goodies to be given out. So that's 5 to 7 at the Huron Street Pavilion. Also this weekend, as we've been preparing, is National Blueberry Festival. That will be starting Thursday. Water Street will be closed starting very early Thursday morning. Will not be reopened until Sunday. We have a number of events that's going on. We've got a basketball tournament in Elkinburg Park. We've got a farmer's market that's going to be in the Huron Street Pavilion. We've got a 5K, and of course the concert. So we also have the craft fair that will be Saturday and Sunday. Please know that there will be a shuttle that will be operating from, I think, the Baseline Middle School. So if people want to avoid that traffic congestion, that is up on, I think, our city's website. If not, it'll be up there later tomorrow. At least sometime. Megan's going to be a little busy tomorrow, so we'll find out. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Letitia.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and that's it.
Thank you. George?
No comments.
Joe?
My only comment is, I know for the residents in this town, many of you, the short-term rental ordinances, both the zoning, which is the business short-term rental, and the regulatory, which in many cases is personal and the business, it's upsetting and frustrating that it's taken so long. I share your concerns and frustrations, but I do believe that city staff, and I know our city council is committed to getting this right, getting both of them written in a manner that'll last for years and best address the needs of the community. And I share your concerns and frustration, but we are trying the very best we can to move forward. And the moratorium should not be taken as a push-off or ignoring trying to get this done. It was necessary because all the steps we went through, including the legal steps with our law firm, has just taken longer than I would have imagined, but we're going to get it right. And that moratorium hopefully will not use the 6 months and we can get it done sooner, but we've got to get this done right to the satisfaction of the most residents in this town so we don't have to undo what we're doing this time. Thanks.
Thank you. Mary?
Yep. Just, Kate, if you could maybe at the next meeting give us an update on the Overton RFP and provide, and I'm still waiting for the beach enforcement attendance manual. But I do want to give a couple shout outs. So We Care has a mobile Secretary of State service occurring on August 16th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Peace Lutheran Church. You do have to RSVP. The spots are limited, and they do need a minimum of 20 people in order for it to happen. So please call We Care to schedule that spot. If you need to transfer a title, get your ID renewed, or a handicap tag, any of that can be done at the mobile unit on August 16th. Another great event for this coming weekend is on Sunday. The South Haven Airport Authority is celebrating their 40th anniversary and is the site for the Rotary's 51st fly-in or drive-in fundraiser breakfast from 7 a.m. to 12 noon. And you'll get not just blueberries satisfaction, but the airport has coordinated helicopter rides and tethered balloon rides for a fee. But there's also free of charge is a car show, antiques, muscle cars and sports cars, and planes, including some collection of warbirds. So that would be exciting to go out there to do that, support the Rotary, and have a great time. The Planning Commission meeting this coming week is this coming week as opposed to last week. We are starting off with a workshop with Ryan Kilpatrick on housing, and then we have our general meeting at 7 p.m. I would like to add on to City Manager's compliments about the event yesterday, and I want to give a shout out to the American Legion Post 49 for their participation in full dress, no less. Great group of people over there. And also yesterday, after that event, I buzzed down to St. Joe, attended a town hall with Attorney General Nessel. She was discussing tips on avoiding scams for seniors, and I brought a card back to give to Kate. She can get it online. The Attorney General provides a lot of information, not only providing support for state offices, but also for consumers. So robocalls, elder abuse, identity theft, and other resources for consumers. And there's also information to better protect yourself from scamming, and I'll give that to Kate. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy?
No comment.
Jeff?
No comment.
I just want to say, just remind everyone to vote tomorrow. This election is across the entire state. So obviously South Haven, Van Buren County, Allegan County, so be sure to vote. And thank you in advance, Megan, for all the work you're going to do tomorrow for is it 18 hours? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's just round up to 24. And I will see all of you at Blueberry Fest and at the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast. So thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate you. And if there's no further business, we're adjourned.